Hey Tea Squad, it's your girl Kirsty. And welcome back to Dropping the Tea, where the kettle is always hot and the stories are always strange. Normally we talk true crime, celebrity gossip, and all the drama you can handle, but today, I'm switching it up. We're taking a trip through Britain's history and present-day oddities to uncover some absolutely bizarre, totally true tales. These are the kind of stories that make you go, wait, what? And then immediately text your mate about it. So grab your tea, get comfy, and prepare to be both educated and slightly disturbed. We're talking stubborn lighthouse keepers, runaway emus, and even a literal wave of beer flooding the streets of London. And before we dive in, big shout out to everyone who's been showing love to the channel, watching the videos, leaving comments, and joining in on our madness. You lot are the real MVPs. All right, let's get into our first strange but true tale. Our first story takes us back to the 1690s, off the treacherous Eddystone rocks near Plymouth. These rocks were basically a ship's worst nightmare. Jagged, half-hidden at high tide, and perfectly placed to wreck anything passing by. Enter Henry Winstanley, a man who clearly had both ambition and a touch of hold my beer energy. Henry wasn't just a lighthouse builder. He was also a showman and inventor. Think of him as a mix between an engineer and one of those eccentric YouTubers who insist they can build a roller coaster in their backyard. Henry built the first ever lighthouse on the Eddystone rocks in 1698. It was an absolute feat of engineering for the time. But here's the twist. Henry was so confident in his creation that during a massive storm in 1703, he insisted on staying inside the lighthouse to prove its strength. Spoiler. The storm, now known as the Great Storm of 1703, was one of the most destructive in British history. The lighthouse was completely destroyed, and so was Henry. The whole thing just vanished into the sea. There's still debate in history circles. Was Henry brave, or was he just really stubborn? I'll let you decide. But I can tell you this. Every modern lighthouse keeper probably knows this story as a reminder of what not to do. And here's a little fun fact. Parts of the later lighthouses on the Eddystone rocks still stand today. So in a way, Henry's mad dream lives on, just without the dramatic ending. Now let's fast forward to the early 1960s. Sussex. Quiet, picturesque, full of rolling hills, sheep, and apparently, runaway emus. Yes, emus. As in, massive, fast-running Australian birds that look like they're plotting your downfall. The story goes that a small zoo in Sussex had a bit of a containment issue. Somehow, a group of emus managed to escape into the countryside. If you've never seen an emu up close, they can be terrifying. They're over 5 feet tall, they run like Olympic sprinters, and they have this glare that says, "I'm judging you." So imagine you're a farmer in 1962, minding your own business. And suddenly this feathery velociraptor comes charging across your field. That's exactly what happened. The local papers had a field day with headlines like, "Mystery creatures spotted in Sussex," and "Villagers claim monsters on the loose." It wasn't until days later that the zoo admitted, "Yeah, sorry about that, those monsters are ours." Most of the emus were recaptured, but a few managed to disappear completely, sparking rumors for years that there were wild emus secretly living in the English countryside. Which, let's be real, would make for the best plot twist in a cozy village mystery novel. Alright, Tea Squad. This one is my personal favorite because it involves two of my favorite things. Chaos and beer. Picture it. London. In the year 1814. In the district of St. Giles, there's a massive brewery, owned by Moe and Company. Inside is a huge wooden vat, holding more than 320,000 gallons of beer. That's about 1.4 million pints. Yes, I did the maths. One day, the vat suddenly bursts. The sheer force knocks down other vats, causing a chain reaction, and in a matter of moments, a tidal wave of beer is surging through the streets. It sounds like the setup for a student pub crawl, but it was deadly serious. The flood destroyed homes, trapped people, and tragically, 8 lives were lost. Here's the strange part. The newspapers at the time reported that thousands of people flocked to the site, some to help, some just to, have a little taste. Because apparently, even in 1814, people were still saying, "Free booze? Don't mind if I do." Today, the site is marked by a plaque, and the London beer flood remains one of the oddest and most sobering events in the city's history.